Yeah, g'day, it's Andre Alapati here. Just wanted to take a few minutes out to sit down and have a bit of a chat to you about some of the stuff that the Mountain Safety Council have been looking at in the last few years in terms of research and data in relation to big game hunting in New Zealand. So out of the 6 forms of hunting that the Mountain Safety Council have been looking at, big game hunting is by participation the most popular. So it comes as no surprise that because of this, they have the highest rate of incident accidents. And during this period of time, during the roar, is when the majority of accidents generally happen. So you can't argue with the statistics, and unfortunately they don't make very good reading.
One of the surprising things is that a lot of these deaths are being caused by some of our most experienced hunters. It's not the newbies who've just got their firearms license that are involved in the bulk of these incidents. It's actually the more experienced guys that have been in the bush for a lot longer. So what that points to is just complacency. It seems like everybody knows the rules. When you chat to them about hunting, and especially hunting in the bush, the complacency is not around making sure your boots are waterproof or that you've got, food in your pack. It's making sure that when you pull the trigger, you know that it's going to be at an animal and not your mate.
We had an incident last year during the roar where we were in the bush up in the North Island, typical thick country. We heard a roar, but we weren't too sure whether it was another human or it was an actual stag.
That roar was just the hunter, do you hear that? It just sounds too hollow. We heard a roar, but we're going to hold tight. We don't think it's actually an animal, so potentially be another hunter, but we're just a bit unsure at the minute, so we're just going to hold our position and maybe wait to hear the roar again. Yeah, it's quite tough when you're in the middle of the rut. Every hunter's keen on this time of the year, and so when you hear a roar, it's quite hard to sort of pull back and make an assessment, but it's always better if you're unsure to err on the side of caution and be wary rather than too gung-ho.
We decided to take the conservative approach, wait a while. In the end we decided that we didn't think it was a stag, so we backed out and we came home empty-handed, but we made it home. The moral of the story for us in that case was that we weren't sure. We weren't 100% sure whether that stag that we were hearing was an animal or another human being. And we were in an area that was generally heavy traffic in terms of hunters, and especially during the roar in the North Island. There's a lot of places that are frequented by a lot of hunters. And so taking the conservative approach means that you're safeguarding not only yourself, but other hunters that could be in the bush too.
I'm bloody sick of seeing news stories about good, keen hunters being shot in New Zealand bush. The only thing that can change is the hunters. We've got to do something about the way that we're out there hunting and identifying our targets. It's the only way, and it comes down to a simple thing: complacency. Just because you've never had an accident before in the bush doesn't mean you're a safe hunter. It's the equivalent of thinking you're a safe driver just because you've never had a car accident. So some of you might be sitting there thinking that this will never happen to me, what I do in the bush is safe, but you're never immune to it. You don't know what situation you'd find yourself in, but if you follow what we've just been talking about, try not to be complacent, make sure you identify your target, have some clarity about your practices, we should all be good. We should all be able to make it home safe.